Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, December 26, 2023, and I'm in this place called the Lakeside Linkage Park. Small open space preserve. Ooh, this is a steep little trail here in the city of Lakeside, just a few minutes from my house. This is a steep one here. So, as I started this video, you can see me pointing back towards the road where my car is parked. It's Los Coches Road here in Lakeside. Must have missed the switchback. I think it does switchbacks. But parked down there in Los Coches, and was hoping to hike all the way to the Whitaker House, but there's a small sign near the trailhead. It's barely legible. It says it's closed. So I must have missed the switchback. Alright, well, on the way back, I'm going to take all the switchbacks so I can experience the whole trail. So I was going to try to go to this place called the Whitaker House. It's on a small hill on Peakbag, referred to as Hilltop. And nice little historical house that goes back to around World War II, the Whitaker family. However, the sign says it's closed over there. So why am I still bothering? Well, I was going to kind of make a so-called two-peak climb out of this today. Two-summit climb. I was going to climb up this ridge line here, and there's supposed to be a benchmark called Fit-2 benchmark. So I was going to try to hit that and then hit Hilltop, where the Whitaker House is, but apparently it's closed due to construction in the area. Looks like the sign goes back to 2021. Which is a shame, because I kind of wanted to go all the way to that end of the ridge. So, a little disappointed in that. Last week I was trying to come out here to this area, and I got confused by the road signs, because on Google Earth it says, well, this was actually not last week, the week before. Google Earth shows Woodside Avenue running into Los Coches. It does not run into Los Coches. It runs into Main Avenue, M-A-I-N-E. So, what I didn't know was that Main Avenue, if you follow it a short distance, becomes Los Coches. So I was kind of frustrated about that. So yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was going to try to come out here and hike all the way there. I would have been denied Whitaker benchmark anyways. Oh, not Whitaker benchmark, Whitaker House on this little hilltop. Ooh, Coach Choya. So that would have been a nice little, really small double header. Would have been just under 3 miles round trip. But I think about 700 feet of elevation gain, so nice little workout. But I guess it's not going to be for a while. Really wanted to get to that spot and get some footage of that, and maybe do a little historical background information on it, but I don't know when it's going to reopen. Alright, so what this little trail is supposed to do, it's supposed to get up to the ridgeline, and it's supposed to meet a ridgeline dirt road, and then the trail's going to eventually branch back off to the left, kind of wind its way along the ridge. Now we've got to goal is to get up to that area there, and along the ridge line, Fit-2 benchmark is supposed to be at the highest point on this little ridge. It's a hill about 762 feet up above sea level. So I guess at least I'll be able to visit that. So, I'm wondering if there's a public way I can get up to that. I think that's .980. It's a small hill with a water tower on it, which is about 980 feet. I might see if I can drive around to look for an access route to that. But so at least I should be able to get to Hilltop, not Hilltop, that's where the Whitaker House is. At least be able to get to Fit-2 benchmark. So we're out here in the coastal sage scrub. Out here. In the city of Lakeside. One town over from where I live in Santee. I don't know how the view will be on the ridgeline, because just below the ridge is going to be a neighborhood of houses, but coming up this way so far is pretty viewful. Gotta admit, pretty nice up here, and it's pretty fragrant too. Pretty fragrant here on the ridgeline. So I guess what I gotta do is, I think I see the trail branching off to the left as the road heads up. Could probably follow the road, but we'll see. I wasn't really in the mood to do something extremely rigorous. I was pretty busy. I was out with friends of the family. Huge chunk of yesterday. With that in mind, I'm hoping everybody's Christmas was good. Everybody's holiday was excellent. I was pretty good, hanging out with friends of the family. And it's time to at least get some hiking in. Wanting to do this little spot for a while. I even took notes and wrote down some notes on the Whitaker House, but I'll probably save discussion of that for when I'm able to actually access it. Did a little reading up on it, because sometimes I don't feel like I do enough research on the historical aspects, and the history of the area is pretty interesting. Just a little piece of the puzzle that is this part of San Diego County. But yeah, see, there's a dirt road there. But you see there's a trail that branches off to the left. Looks like it starts over here. So I'm going to at least be able to hit Fit-2 benchmark today, and see what kind of botanical treasures I'll find en route. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and branch off to the right here. Looks like this will probably access the road. But since this is a little county preserve, I try to stay on trail. I mean, coastal sage scrub is an endangered habitat. All right, so as we're climbing up this, what do we got growing here today? All right, well, we've had some rain this month, not a lot, but just enough to get the California sagebrush to start putting out a little more foliage. Gently rub it, take a whiff of that spicy sweet aroma. And of course we got San Diego bush sunflower, Bahiopsis laciniata. Last week I saw its desert cousin, Bahiopsis parishii, the desert bush sunflower. So they're starting to put out a little bit of foliage here after we got a little bit of rain. We had a little bit in November too, but we're definitely way behind already. Let's look at the extend outlook on Weather Channel, showing chances of storms scattered through a nice chunk of the next 15 days. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get some precipitation. Get some nice views opening up. I can see my car on those coaches. So now, again, my goal is to get up to the ridge. Trying to figure out if this is marine sedimentary soil or if this is granite. It's hard to tell. I'm not very much a geologist, though I figured I should try to at least get a little knowledge about it. Camera's about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and get some new batteries. Catch you up towards the ridgeline. Yeah, my mind was playing with ideas of what I might have wanted to do since I have an extra day off. I'm off on Christmas, and my normal days off, Tuesday and Wednesday, happen to be right after it. And instead of rearranging my schedule, I got the extra day off. Okay, so that's the road. I'm gonna go ahead and head along the trail. I was almost flirting with climbing Granite Mountain and the Borrego. After I was out most of yesterday, I was thinking, yeah, I don't know about that one, not this time. But I might be considering a climb up Granite Mountain pretty soon. That would definitely be a little butt kicker. I think most hikes for that start from the Cool Canyon trailhead. That's the literal name of it, Cool Canyon. Take the Cool Canyon trailhead and then hike up there, hike up that, and then go cross country. Either that or you can hike the PCT for a while and then break cross country to go up there. There's a nice laurel sumac. Nice little laurel sumac up here, Melisma lorina. And a chaparral yucca. And now there's a lot less non-native vegetation up here. Got foothill buckwheat, foothill California buckwheat. Okay, pretty cool. So we're not going to be in the chaparral, we're going to be all in coastal sage scrub today. Pretty fragrant on this beautiful morning. I think I'm near the peak already. I think it's around here somewhere. Might have to look around for it, but we're on the top of the ridge. We're on the highest point right here. Let me see if I can find it. going to be very carefully working my way through here. I mean, this is the summit. This is where Fit-2 benchmark is. Ooh, a little bunny, a little Audubon cottontail. Let me see if I can find the benchmark. I'm not going to spend a lot of time off trail because I try to be respectful of nature preserves, but I will take a quick little peek wherever I can walk. But the elevation of this hill is 762 feet. Let's see if I can find a game trail. I think there's a game trail over here. I think. Let's see if I can find the benchmark. I think I scared another bunny. There's a small game trail over here, I think. Let's see if I can find the benchmark. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see anything. I was just curious if there is actually a benchmark, but this is Fit-2 benchmark up here. This is the peak. Trying to see if I can see a benchmark or a survey marker up here. But yeah, here's a better little game trail over here. Very, very short climb up here. Very short, very easy hike to get up here. But I wanted another summit under my belt. And of course I don't take that lightly. I look at each hill, summit, peak I climb with respect, because I like climbing peaks, and no matter how easy or how difficult it is, I appreciate being on a summit. I'm trying to see if I can find a benchmark up here. I don't see one. Could be on a rock underneath a bush or something, but this is the peak. This is the high point of the ridge. So, regardless of whether I find a benchmark or not, this is Fit-2 benchmark, 762 feet here in Lakeside, right next to Santee. And the high point here is marked with a beautiful laurel sumac. So, I guess we'll call the laurel sumac my benchmark. Pretty cool. All right. Well, views are kind of hemmed in by shrubs over here, so I'll point out what I can point out, and we'll start by looking to the north. That's over towards Wildcat Canyon Road. I think one of those might be Kumeyaay Promontory in Stelzer Park, I believe. Either that or it might be one of these. I don't know. Might be over here, maybe. But yeah, that's over towards where Wildcat Canyon Road is, El Capitan County Preserve, of course El Cajon Mountain, and I believe that's Silver Dome 2. I think it's one of the Silver Domes. And actually, I think that one there might be El Capitan Peak. And that's, of course, El Cajon Mountain Summit right there. And then there's what they call the South Arête. Now, I don't know if that's a true arête in the sense of glacial carving, but it has the adventure and dramatic drop-offs that you would find on a lot of arêtes when you're mountaineering. And it's, I think a minimum class 3 route from, I think, El Monte Road, I believe, takes you through some brushy areas and then some use trails that kind of wind their way around that big steep cliff there. I've seen people's videos on it, and it's an ordeal. Very much an ordeal. I think much shorter in distance than the typical El Cajon Mountain Trail. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, but probably much harder because it does require at least some mountaineering ability. It's a very strict rock scrambling. But yeah, so this is kind of out towards the northeast. Of course, we're looking towards the east there. Middle Peak is right there. So that's North Peak, Middle Peak, Cuyamaca Peak, of course, the second highest point in our county. And of course, there's Viejas Mountain as we look more towards the east-southeast. So I'm trying to see if I can figure out what's what over here. So I think, yeah, one of those might be Flynn Peak. That might be Flynn Peak right there from Flynn Springs County Park. Or is it looking this way? It's hard to tell. Yeah, I might be looking over towards Flynn Peak. We just saw a California quail. Yeah, there's a California quail under that broombacker's bush over there. Try to zoom in if I can get a visual of it, but you're not going to see it much on camera, unfortunately. But yeah, there's a small California quail underneath the shrubbery there. All right, so let's look more towards the south-ish. Looking here towards the south. And so one of these is Flynn Springs County Park. I think Flynn Springs County Park's there, I believe. And we're looking over towards San Miguel Mountain off in the distance there. And that looks like Hill 980 with a water tower on top of it. Now we're looking more towards the west and southwest. So this is southwest. That's called Rattlesnake Mountain, that hill there. The top of that's just under 1,200 feet, and that's Sky Ranch, community between Santee and Lakeside. And in there's Mission Trails, the hills of Mission Trails, looking at Piles Peak, Quai Pai, and North Fortuna Mountain there. And I can see the 52 freeway underneath North Fortuna. Looking north, there's Iron Mountain right there. Right there, Iron Mountain between Powell and Ramona. So pretty cool. So I'm definitely not ready to turn back. So I'm going to go about as far as I can go after I get my summit selfie, of course, and a picture or two. And we'll see what other cool things we'll find here in the Lakeside Linkage Preserve. Alright, so I'm going to continue hiking along the trail for a while. I'm going to see if I can find the benchmark if I look around here a little bit. Let's see if I can try to find it. This is all about close to the same elevation. Again, I'm not going to go too far off the path. Just wanted to see if I could find the benchmark. And there's, on the way back, I got to remember, stop by this huge prickly pear cactus thicket, which is not that far here from the summit. I have to check that out. I think there's a small use trail to get there. Oh, here's a little side path right here. Sometimes it's cool to take these little side paths. Okay, that's where I guess this is the off-limit section here. Is this a coast prickly pear? Actually, this might be a western or mesa prickly pear. Spines are kind of flat in cross section. Trying to do this without poking myself too much. Yeah, Yeah, I think this might be Opuntia vacei. This might be a mesa prickly pear. Pads are almost fleshy like a Opuntia littoralis, the coast prickly pear. But it looks like some of these spines are flat in cross section. And I believe that is more indicative of either western prickly pear, Opuntia occidentalis, or Opuntia vacei. I don't know if Opuntia occidentalis is here in San Diego County, but I know Opuntia vacei is. I'll have to check Cal Florida to see what the vouchers are in this area. But don't just assume if you see a prickly pear, it's going to be coast prickly pear, because you might be surprised. And we got quite a bit of prickly pear, especially towards that little knob over there. There's a lot of prickly pear on the side of the hill. So I'm wondering what else there is around here. That's pretty cool. This coastal sage scrub is primarily California sagebrush and foothill buckwheat, with larger laurel sumacs as your larger woodier shrubs, your larger shrubs. And then, of course, Opuntia species. Now, the one I was telling you about, the large thicket. Whoa! Cool. Just got buzzed by a hawk. Didn't quite get a chance to identify it. I don't know if that was... I'm not sure if that was a hawk. Didn't get a good enough look at it. But yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah. Pretty cool little spot. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of looking forward to just doing an easy hike and spending more time just savoring the atmosphere than trying to reach a major mountain goal. So it's definitely fitting the bill today. Yeah, I've been run down really hard from work, getting over another cough. Well, I'm over it now, but I've been getting over one last week, and then the holidays between workers not showing up, and the usual drama at work. Just kind of made things a little difficult. Yeah, it's a pretty cool little ridgeline. I'm kind of glad I'm staying more on the trail as opposed to the road, because it's a little further away from the houses. Normally, I like to have a little more solitude, and I'm sure they don't want to be hearing me yapping on a video. So yeah, very easy hike to get up here. I just didn't realize where there was a switchback. I accidentally cut a switchback up a use trail. So, pretty cool little ridge here. I don't think this hill maybe has about 100 or 200 feet prominence. But it's the highest area in the area until you start getting over that way. Some of those foothills on the other side of the little valley. There's my sage scrub up here. Oh yeah, okay, we got earweed. Pretty cool. Looks like some guy's got some e-bikes going on. Just wanted to give him some room. I think they're using e-bikes. Okay. So yeah. It smells very fresh up here too. The air is very clean. Thanks to this guy here, California sagebrush. I guess there's an occasional deer weed up here too. Let's see which way this trail, I'm assuming it's going to go over that nubbin over there. I think it rejoins the road, I think, over here somewhere. That's the Whitaker House right there. That's where I wanted to go today. Really wanted to go over to the Whitaker House. But I think the little use trail, there's a use trail that cuts around the paved road, but I believe it's closed for construction, so I'll go over towards where it's cordoned off. I'll just keep going until I'm cordoned off. May as well just enjoy what I can, at least get some bit of a hike out of this today. All right, let's see what other little treats I find today. Just saw some wren tits. Little tiny birds that love the sage scrub and chaparral. I was thinking I was going to get a camera view of them, because these are very, very shy birds. I could swear it was a wren tit. Really small, grayish brown bird. Really hoping to get some video footage of them. They're much easier to hear than they are to see. Oh, there's a nice laurel sumac. There we go. I'm not sure if that's a wren tit. There are a lot of very similar birds that have very similar colorations. That one over there is cheeping. Cheep, cheep. That's not a wren tit, but I think I see flitting around here in the laurel sumac is what looks like a wren tit. Because a lot of times the wren tits are kind of small, kind of stocky, oval-bodied shaped birds, and their tail kind of seems to stick up at about a 45-degree angle. Small grayish bird with yellow eyes. I think we got wren tits here, but there's something else in this bush too. I don't know how much of it is getting caught on camera, but yeah. The other bird that was making the cheep cheep sounds, really can't tell what that is, but it had a slimmer body. Actually, they build on the wren tit's body. It's so oval. It looked, and when you see the wings tucked in, it looks like it'd be almost impossible for them to fly. But that's the thing is, they can fly, but they don't fly very long. Wren tit birds are very sedentary, and they stay within a pretty small section of the chaparral or coastal sage scrub for basically their whole lives. So they find little spots where they hang out and stay. And we got some other birds. There might be bush tits or something else mixing in here as well. These are definitely not all wren tits. I wonder if those are bush tits. I wonder if that's what those are. Bush tits and wren tits are not related. Just beyond being birds. Birds are related in that level, but they're not closely related. There are a whole bunch of birds flitting about here, none of which I believe are wren tits. But they have slightly similar builds, but their tail doesn't poke up as much. But there are a bunch of them flitting about right now. Right when I came through that little spot there were just tons of them flitting about. So I gotta research the sound that these birds make, and I'm gonna check it out and see. Alright, so we're coming up on this little rocky spot here. Here's that deer weed, or deer broom. Beautiful. Yeah, this is Acmispunk glabra variety glabra. This is a coastal deer broom. Just last week I was looking at the desert variety breviolatus. Oh, I think I finally see some white sage coming up. I haven't seen any actual sage. This is California sage brush. It's in the sunflower family. It's not a sage, but it's a sage brush because of the spicy aroma it has. Looks like we're coming up on some white sage over here too. There's even some of that over at Anza-Borrego Desert State Park too. Salvia apiana. Hoping there was a use trail to this little promontory here. I want to kind of check it out. Like I said, I don't want to step too far off trail. I did a little tiny bit by the summit looking for the benchmark, but I try to minimize how much I do. Oh, maybe there'll be one here on the top of the hill. We'll see. I'd like to see that little lookout there. This is a pretty little area. Oh, okay, here's a trail going this way. I'm gonna go head this way. It looks like it will go to the promontory. So I live on the other side of Rattlesnake Mountain. Live on the other side of that. And there's Fit-2, just where I was a short while ago. Oh, so this goes over to the rocks. I was hoping this would. Like I said, I don't want to do any long bushwhacks. All right, get ready for some interesting views. Oh, this is cool. Wow, this is dope. I like this. Nice viewpoint. Oh, this is dope. This is really cool. Look at that prickly pear. It's still got prickly pear fruit on it. Just right on that rock. Oh. It's a easy climb to get up here. Very easy hike. Boy, for such an easy hike, the payoff is pretty cool with these views. Now, if you look down here, all those trees with the yellow foliage on them, those are pecan trees. Very common in the lakeside area. That's Caria illinoisensis. Pecan trees are very common here in Lakeside. Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they shed their leaves pretty late. Oh, you can even see Coles Mountain now. We're just far enough north along this trail. You can see Coles Mountain over there. And there's South Fortuna Mountain right there. And Mission Trails. Pretty cool. Now, I did point out Iron Mountain earlier, the pointy one there, but next to it, you might just barely be able to pick out Woodson Mountain too. Might be able to just barely point out Woodson, which kind of has a very gentle ridge on that side. Wow, this is cool. And this is all Los Coches Road right here. It becomes Main. I can see the 67 over there. Highway 67. That's pretty cool. This is a good view up here. All right, take a few pictures and see you on the next clip. All right, so we're coming up to another junction. This is the trail that'll keep directing you towards the Whitaker House. But first, here's another little viewpoint area. Another little rocky viewpoint area, so if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna make the most out of it. So let's see what's over here. Interesting. Cool little rock over here. Cool little rocky outcropping. Cool little mini summit block on this hill. Nice. So that right there, that's over towards the Whitaker House. There's a paved road that goes up. However, our trail is supposed to go left of it, and then it's supposed to go around that way, I believe. Like I said, I'm going to go about as far as I can go before it's closed off. And I'm just going to try to get in as much scenery as I can here. This is a cool little miniature summit here too. This is actually kind of like a little mini summit. And actually, Hilltop, aka Whitaker House site, is actually lower. So the top of where I was before over there, at Fit-2 benchmark, is 762 feet. The top of Hilltop, where the Whitaker House is about 100 feet lower. I think it's roughly about 675 feet. So it'd still be nice to go visit it. Look how tall the broomback wrist gets over here. Pretty nice. Now we're getting into sawtooth goldenbush. It's already a squarosa. Now I think two varieties grow here, or two subspecies. Subspecies squarosa and subspecies grandelioides. I got to learn how to tell the difference between the two. I think two subspecies grow here. This is a nice older one. These things are typically smaller subshrubs, but this one is probably about 4.5 feet tall, almost 5 feet tall. So pretty impressive. That's a pretty nice older specimen. So yes, following this down to, if I see a closed sign, then I'll know it's time to turn around. But I'm going to go to the base of Hilltop, aka the Whitaker House. Again, the name Hilltop, I think, is suggested on Peak Bagger. Ooh. Oh! Well, we just got more interesting now. Chalk Dudleyias. We're on a north-facing slope now. So we got some Chalk Dudleya here in the coastal sage scrub. Dudleya pulverulenta. Ooh, cool. Yeah, got a nice little population of Chalk Dudleyas over here. The grayish green rosettes poking out. So I should be able to get most of the distance in. I think the hike was about 2.8 miles. You can hear the wrentits chirping now. Yeah, more white sage. Here's more of that coastal deer broom here. So I'm wondering if I'm hoping it might still be open. There's an old messy sign. But if there is a bypass, I might be able to get around it. We'll see. If it's still open, I'm going to try to go for it. If it's open again. If I see another closed sign, then obviously I'll know that meant to happen. Ooh! There's a luscious laurel sumac right here. Ooh! On this north-facing slope. This one is luscious. It's got a lot of densely packed branches of foliage. So yep, that's where the Whitaker House is up there. Yeah, this is beautiful over here. This is a really beautiful coastal sage scrub. Alright, let's see. Let's see what happens. Am I going to be denied? I can hear the hummingbirds already starting. Last year I couldn't take any hikes without being buzzed by those cool little hummingbirds. Last spring, they were just buzzing everywhere. I guess this is the construction site. Looks like they're digging in some drainage culverts. Well, I assumed this road was always closed anyways. We'll see if I see any signs. If I see any signs, then I'll worry about it then. Lakeside Preserve. Lakeside Linkage Preserve and the Whitaker Trail. Well, like I said, I don't think you're supposed to hike up the road here. Anyways, even regardless. Let's see. I'll go head down this way and see what happens. Some rock ducks. I've seen a couple of them here. Oh, a game trail. Probably a rabbit track or something. Here's a cool little site. I've seen a couple of these here in the park. Blue elderberry. Sambucus nigra cerulea. Sometimes still known as Sambucus mexicana. I'm wondering where this goes. See, I'm not taking the one that's going towards the Whitaker House. I'm actually taking a downhill trail. I'm trying to see where this leads. Just out of curiosity. This leads to another entrance to the preserve. So I'll have a nice little bit of climbing on the way out, but I needed a good little hike. See how far I can go on this. There's a skunk nearby. Get the aroma. It was a Torrey pine right in there. That's an Aleppo pine, but there's a Torrey pine right there. Yeah, let's see where this goes. This looks pretty cool. Yeah, somebody's got a young Torrey pine in there, mixed in with a few Aleppos. Ooh, more Dudleyias and more white sage. I haven't seen any black sage yet, though. Yeah, there's some nice Dudleya rosettes in there. Really cool. Wow, I like the boulders on the side of this one. Ooh, yeah. It's good to see north-facing slopes decked out in boulders, so you can see Dudleyas. All right, let's see what else I find. Coming up on another trailhead. I have to walk to this one. There's a sign right here. I was wondering where this led. But yeah, there's a little outlet over here somewhere. I can see the preserve sign right there. I'm trying to see where this comes out. I'll climb back up this in a minute. I just want to see. Here's a trail sign right here. I guess this comes up from the neighborhood. But yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, Lakeside Linkage Preserve. So this is where I came down, so I'm gonna go head back up this back to the saddle between the big part of the ridge. Let's see here though. Guess it comes up from down there. Alright, well, start heading back up this and see what else lies in wait in my nice little adventure here at Lakeside Linkage Preserve. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt. That's where I came from before. That's where I went down earlier. Back up here. So I'm going to go ahead and head around this and see if I come across any trail closed signs. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. See. So far, no trail closed signs. I'm sure there'd be a sign. Which I'm not seeing. I'm guessing that area is close there. I don't think you're supposed to walk along the road there. You're supposed to use a trail. I don't see any trail closed signs. Yeah, I'm sure there would have been a cordoning off. Let's see. What's this say? It's a little interpretive display. There's no trail closed sign. Chaparral. Well, we're technically not in chaparral over here. This is coastal sage scrub, but let's talk about the cedar fire. So if you ever wanted to stop by and read that, it talks about chaparral and fire ecology. So let's see. I'm gonna follow this along and see what's next. Now we're coming up on a China berry. That's what this shrub is here. Sometimes these can get up to be 40-foot tall trees. Still got some leaves on it. Normally these things are leafless for winter. This is Melia Ezidaruct from I think China in the middle, China and Asia. You see all the berry-like fruits on them. Sometimes in fall these can turn pretty golden yellow, or winter nights get, or autumn nights get cold. These ones are a little slow to shed their leaves. Of course, Aleppo pine. I guess I'm getting pretty close. So let's see. So it's going to be quiet because I think there are caretakers who live in this area too. So just try to be respectful. guess this trail really wasn't closed. I mean, that sign was very old. That sign was very old. We're just about at the Whitaker House site right now. And I forgot to bring my paper with me where I wrote down the information, so I'll speak on what I can remember and then type in some additional text on the screen and then give you my sources. I'll hike right over here. Odd eucalyptus condylensis around here. But we're just about at the house right now. Not allowed to go inside, I don't think. Ooh, nice big Dudley rosette. Okay. I'll see you at the summit and the house. All right. This is the Whitaker House. Built back, I think, in the 30s or 40s by the Whitakers. And so this spot is at least 80 to 90 years old. And the husband built this house out of rocks he quarried in the area, from what I remember. I believe he quarried the rocks in this general vicinity to build this house those decades ago. And the wife did the gardening and landscaping around here. You can get more information from San Diego Reader and this book called The Canyoneer's Guide to San Diego Outdoors by Diana Lindsay et al. They have a little bit more information about it, but I'll post a little bit of information on the screen. But this is the Whitaker House. I guess it was actually open over here because I didn't run into any problems accessing the trail here. Yep, here it is actually. Yeah, this is called the Hilltop. Mildred and Hale Whitaker. You can pause to read that if you like. It's kind of hard to read in the sunlight. But yeah, this is their house. This is called Hilltop. So I guess when I go up there, I'll go ahead and actually do my summit time bit. And then I got something interesting to point out very soon. Let's go to Hilltop. All right, here we are, the summit of Hilltop, 675 feet. Got a little native rocky outcropping here. So this is Hilltop, baby. Yeah, this is really cool. So I guess Mildred Whitaker did a lot of the landscaping and planting of the trees and shrubs, while Mr. Whitaker built all these cool little structures and built the house. I'm guessing he probably had some hand in building this. This definitely looks like this was built decades ago. And if I remember correctly, he got the materials from this general area. So what do we have here on Hilltop? What do we got growing up here? Looks like we got Chinese pistache, Pistacia chinensis. These ones are a little late to shed their leaves, but you get a little fall color on them. These are usually pretty good fall color trees. But again, today's December 26th, so they're a little late. Ooh, scarlet firethorn, Pyracantha coccinea, another ornamental. These beautiful, luscious orange-red pomes. And yeah, something caught my eye, but I had to kind of make it official. I'll go back up there for my summit selfie in a few minutes, but something interesting growing here. Looks like there was some desert planting up here. And here we have it. Creosote bush. How cool is that? Laria tridentata. I was looking at a ton of this last week when I was in Anza Borrego Desert State Park. And I hiked up Grapevine Mountain, the lower slopes had quite a few of these. There's a creosote bush up here. That's so cool. And it looks like we have an old Senegal date palm here that's seen better days. But yeah, so I'm imagining this was probably here. She probably planted that. I'm assuming she planted that. There's some desert scape plants. Here's some type of euphorbia, non-native euphorbia. Here's an old, I don't know how long this has been here. I don't know, this might not be that old. This is pelargonium. This is a ornamental geranium. Wow. I wonder if you can look inside. Well, again, generally this place is closed off, but sometimes you can look inside and see. Yeah. We'll get a good view of it on camera. We can see the kitchen area. Wow, this is pretty cool. I like this. Here's another plant. Here's another landscape plant. This plant's much older. I mean, much younger. Ugh. This is Parkinsonea equileata, the Mexican palo verde. There's an old oleander bush that didn't do so hot. But yeah, this is a cool spot. It's a little piece of our history here. I don't know if this was here when Miss Whitaker was landscaping the area. Some of these have got to be the originals. I'm sure a lot of these eucalyptus trees are. Some of these might be the descendants of the plants that she planted up here. And we got foxtail agave attenuata, non-native, but does very well in our climate. It's an interesting looking pine right here. Yeah, you know, I gotta botanize. If Mrs. Whitaker were she was planting, I'm gonna have to botanize what she planted. This might be a stone pine. This one's hard to tell. This is a little youngster here. This might be a stone pine. Needles are a little too short for Canary Island pine. And there's our little lake, I guess after which the city's named. There's a park down there. Wow, yeah, this is cool. I like Hilltop. So, I'm so lucky. I feel so blessed that the trail wasn't actually closed. It wasn't cordoned off like I assumed it would be. I'm just really happy and relieved I was able to make it up here. I've always wanted to come visit this. Ooh, here's a little tamarisk. Looks like a little cypress seedling, but this is a tamarisk. This is not a cypress or juniper. I wonder what type that is. But yeah. Maybe, I gotta admit though, the rock here at the Whitaker House looks like the color and composition of the rock that was quarried, or that outcrops out over here. This does look like that type of rock. A lot of the rocks are this color, this composition, so yeah. Very cool. So this is part of our 1930s, 1940s history here. So yeah, I'll get a little look at the breakfast table. Wow, that is so cool. I don't know if this place is ever open for people to view it. I would hope so. It would be nice to go inside and actually get an interpretive tour. Very cool. So this is called Mildred and Hale Whitaker Park. It's a little mini park here on the top of the hill. So what do we have over here? Ooh, we got a bottle tree here from Australia. This is Brachychiton populneus. Now you see these landscaped here in San Diego County in the lower, warmer elevations. This one's kind of bushy. They get a kind of slightly swollen gray trunks. Pretty cool. I've seen a lot of these in my life. This is a really cool little park. Yeah, so glad I finally made it up here. I've been wanting to come up here for a little while. There's our beautiful Whitaker house. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my summit selfies and whatever, do a couple summit shots, and then I guess either sit down for a while or eventually start working my way back. Here's something I'm sure that Mrs. Whitaker didn't plant. This is Ailanthus, tree of heaven right here. Small little stunted sapling right here. This is Ailanthus altissima. This is a tree that was planted back decades ago to help stave off erosion and to grow in places where other plants just can't deal with it, because these plants are tough and very resilient. It's leafless because it's winter, and this is a winter deciduous tree in the Quassia family, the can't even pronounce it. I'll type it on the screen. I can't pronounce it today. I'm tongue twisted. But yeah, it's in the Quassia family. Okay. I'll just type the dang word. But yes, this one has been known to spread everywhere. This plant is an omnipresent tree that spreads like wildfire. Still can't talk. But yeah, the roots are known to produce suckers. In other words, shoots that come up from the roots. So these plants are extremely difficult to eradicate, but they grow in very tough conditions. So one thing you got to appreciate is the resiliency of this plant. And once it gets established, it's extremely difficult to control. I know. I lived in a place in Anaheim in Orange County that had an Ailanthus grove, or a tree of heaven grove, and it was pretty interesting, and you'd see root shoots come up all the time. But me being a tree lover, I find it difficult. We brought it here. It just took a liking to our climate. So, I mean, we brought it to the U.S. So it naturalized, and yes, it outcompetes native plants, but we brought it here. So that's on us. A lot of that is on us. So it's not the plant's fault that it's naturally very competitive. It is what it is. I guess this is a little barbecue pit or something here. A little barbecue spot, a little maintenance shed, a little bench, a little shade ramada. This is a pretty cool park. Here's another Chinaberry, Melia azadirect. Right here, all those, yeah, Chinaberry, Melia azadirect. This is not a tree whose fruit you want to eat. Very toxic fruit on this tree. I bet you a few weeks ago this had nice yellow fall color on it. But look at this. We've got a great view of El Cajon Mountain. Look at that. Just a few miles away is that big granite beast. That's supposed to be one of the toughest day hikes in the county. Yes. So that right there, that little jagged one right there, I think is El Capitan Peak. That might be one of the Silver Domes. And that's El Cajon Mountain. And there's that big, huge cliff. Like I said early on, I saw people hiking up that in YouTube videos, and ooh, that's pretty rough. Pretty cool. I'm wondering if that's peak 6 of 1763 right there in Crest Ridge Ecological Reserve. I think so, because I think I see what looks like an avocado farm underneath it. I think that might be peak 1763 in Crest Ridge. I think that's what that is there. That's pretty cool. I think that might be it. That might be peak 1763. Let me zoom in on it. Because I know there's a water tower on it. So if that's the case, then that's probably Flynn Springs County Park down there, and it's probably Flynn Peak and Flynn Springs Peak, probably in that area. That might be peak 1763. I'll try to look, zoom into this area and look over that way to see if I can confirm that that's it. I'm guessing this video is already getting long, but I still got the hike back, so I guess this is going to be another long video. Already had to pop in a second memory card. The first memory card had some stuff on it already. But what else do we have here? I think this plant here is called tree ionium, I believe is what this is called. It's a succulent, beautiful succulent plant. And I have a couple at home, like one or two of these at home. Very interesting looking succulent. My neighbor has some of this growing too. It's an interesting succulent. I'll have to do a little more looking on that. And this is actually a relative of our native sages. So you saw me pointing out white sage earlier on the video. Well, this is obviously, most people recognize this as rosemary. Rosmarinus officinalis. And it is in the mint family Lamiaceae, so it's related to our native sages, even though this is a Mediterranean European native. And I think this is Portulacaria afra, this succulent here. I think that's what this one is. I've seen this plant so many times. And then, it looks like we got Cape Leadwort over here. It's another landscape plant, not native here. This is Plumbago auriculata, or Plumbago capensis, one of the two. But it's in the leadwort family, Plumbaginaceae, Plumbago. Pretty cool looking pink, purplish blue flowers. And here's a very interesting looking toyon, a native. Remember I was pointing out that scarlet firethorn earlier? With the red pomes on it? Well, this is related. Toyon is related. It's in the same section of the rose family with the apples and pears. And this one is this one looks like this one's had a rough go of things. You can see here. But you can see it still persists. This top part's still struggling. But then we got the lower bush here that resprouted. So it just shows how our native sage scrub and chaparral plants are quite resilient. Here's more foothill California buckwheat right here. Eriogonum fasciculatum variety foliolacum. Pretty common here in the area. What else was I going to look at? Oh, here's a larger toyon right here. Pretty cool. Very beautiful. There's another plant that's related to the toyons and the pyracantha. So I'm going to go around and so I can find it real quick. There's some aloes growing here too. Species of aloe, or aloe. Pretty cool. I'm wondering if this is a remnant of a planting from Mrs. Whitaker back in the 30s or 40s. I'm wondering if this is a remnant, because sometimes these plants could persist for a long time and spread their populations. Here's a succulent that's native that grew on its own. Chalk Dudleya pulverulenta. pretty cool. Nice views of Lakeside up here. So that plant that I just shot some quick video of, it's called a cotoneaster. I don't know the species. I'll have to look it up. There are several species of cotoneaster. That's also related to the scarlet firethorns, as you see here. That plant is related to this. Similar fruit. Again, also related to our native toyon. So all three of those, are related. Firethorn, cotoneaster, and the toyon. All three related. Major differences: this one's native, the other two aren't. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting ready to head back, see if there are any other little side trips I can make on the way back, and we'll see what else I find. Alright, so now I'm leaving the Whitaker House site on Hilltop. Really cool spot. Definitely a totally awesome little diversion here in beautiful Lakeside. Very happy I came up here. Glad it wasn't actually closed. I'm guessing that was an old sign that just kind of rotted in the elements. But as we're leaving, Peruvian pepper tree, Scinis mole, with these little berry-like fruits. This might actually be drupes. But yep, Peruvian pepper tree. A lot of times known as a California pepper tree because it was planted here a few hundred years ago by, I believe, the Spanish. And it became pretty much a symbol of California because it's found everywhere in low elevation, warm areas in California where the winter nights don't get too cold. So, Peruvian pepper tree. That's something you'll be seeing a lot of. Occasionally escapes, but a lot of the trees that I see are generally older trees that were planted, and of course newer ones are planted in residential areas. But sometimes they do escape into the wildlands. You'll see them sometimes in the hills. So now I'm back on the trail. Actually, it took me a little time to find the actual trail coming back. I went down the wrong set of little stairs they put in by the hill. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't going the right way. But here we are. Fires and chaparral sign. Yeah, some very nice, large, old growth buckwheat up here too. Foothill buckwheat. Very old growth ones here. Actually, they're the size of some of our smaller chaparral shrubs. But yes. So, heading back along this pretty lovely trail. So I'm going to basically be mostly following the ridge line on the trail. Maybe, I don't know if I should take the road to bury it up a little bit, but we'll see. I'm so glad it was open. I was really hoping to visit the Whitaker House. A little piece of our local history and culture here in San Diego County. It's something I've been wanting to see for a little while, and finally made it out here. Very short drive from my house. We really can't complain about beautiful coastal sage scrub, nice beautiful mature stands of it, nice intimate views of the lakeside area from a beautiful scenic ridge line. Nice little amount of wildlife. Got to see some cool bird action, especially a quail, some wren tits, and some other cool avifauna. Now, oh, and a California ground squirrel. We'll add that to the list. Yeah. So I'm guessing maybe that the road was closed. There's a paved road that leads up towards where the house is too. I'm guessing that might have been what was closed. But the actual trail itself was open. If it were closed, I'm pretty sure there would have been a little sign on it. So I guess fate was with me today, finally. Last couple of weeks, I've been making up for the previous 2 weeks of failure. So yeah, this area right here, you got to stay out of here. This is construction. But all right, let's start climbing up the ridge. Okay, so trails, going to continue going back this way to make my out and back. I want to stop off in this little nook over here. Some smaller chalk dudleya rosettes over here as well. And there's Hilltop over there. That's a cool little hill. Little hill with a big wallop, big punch of beauty. Historical house up there. Some great native and cultivated flora. So definitely a nice piece of our history here in Lakeside. And some good views here and there too. Pretty good local views and some occasional expansive views too. So for a short and easy hike, this is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I'm almost back on the main portion of the ridge. Let's go through some bumps, and we'll try to find a really large prickly pear cactus near the summit area, and we'll see how that goes. There's one of those overlooks there from earlier. All right, let's see what else interesting I find. So it's kind of like a small little second summit bump. We go down a little ways, just a little ways. We do go down a little bit, but sometimes these little bumps have some extra spicy flavor to appreciate and enjoy. Yeah, nice little park. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. All right, well, let's see what else. See what else I find along the way. So we're already starting to get snapdragons. I believe we got Nuttall snapdragon here. Antirrhinum nuttalianum, subspecies nuttalianum. We got some snapdragons blooming already. Pretty cool. Pretty cool little purple flowers. So we're starting to get some wildflowers. And here's some type of a plant. I believe this is some type of a Stephanomeria. It's these plants with a wiry inflorescences. I think this is a type of Stephanomeria, I believe. I never really took the time to try to identify it, but sometimes these can get about 6-7 feet tall. I'm not sure if they're even annuals, biennials, or perennials, but pretty cool flower heads. And these are flower heads because these are sunflower family plants here. Whoever's honking that horn needs to cool it off a bit. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of it along here, along the ridge line. I'll have to do a little research. I think it's a Stephanomeria. I don't know if it's Stephanomeria diegensis, San Diego wire lettuce, but I'll have to double check that. I always keep forgetting to look that one up. Beautiful coastal sage scrub out here. A lot of this is in very, very awesome condition. I looked at the imagery on Google Earth and it looks kind of barren from the imagery, but coastal sage scrub is a much shorter vegetation than chaparral, so it's going to look a lot less luscious from higher up views. So okay, so we're going to get ready to gain this higher part of the ridge. Yeah, beautiful old school laurel sumac. Old growth laurel sumac. I can tell it's re-sprouted from its base. So that one's been there for a long time. So we're going to go ahead and climb up this and keep getting some views of Los Coches over there. And Hill 980. One day I'm going to see if there's a way to get up there too. I'm going to have to do some research. Starting to get closer to Fit-2 benchmark. Probably at the summit of the ridge pretty soon. Of course, as soon as I get ready to turn the camera on, the California quail I heard calling off in the hillside over there stopped. What a really cool little park. So we're nearing the summit again of Fit-2 benchmark. Here are a couple of them calling now. All right. So I'll look around one more time, see if I can see a benchmark. Must have been an old blue elderberry up here years ago. Who knows, maybe it's hidden under one of these bushes. One of these cool little coastal sage scrub shrubs. Let's see if I can find it somewhere around here. Yeah, hopefully that caught on camera. Probably should have been able to hear it now. That was the chick-wack-wack sound. That's what the bird sounds like, the California quail. See, this is the summit area again of Fit-2. Yeah, I didn't see a benchmark. I'm gonna maybe look around for a few more seconds. Just look around for a few more seconds. Cool hilltop though. Benchmark or no benchmark? And there was a big cactus I wanted to go visit. This is actually it right here. That's not a native prickly pear. That's a mission prickly pear, or also called Indian fig cactus, Puntia ficus indica. That's a big one. That's a very, very large one. That thing is huge. That is a beautiful cactus. It's not native, but it has much larger pads than our native coast and mesa prickly pears. And chaparral prickly pears, much larger pads. Yeah, I guess maybe there isn't. Maybe there is a benchmark somewhere, but either I'm just not seeing it or vandals probably steal them. I've been on a couple of peaks where the benchmark's missing. I mean, I doubt you ever get caught, and this is no way me advocating such a thing. You'd probably be able to get away with taking one away, but I would never advocate doing such a dastardly thing, because it's unlawful to disturb benchmarks. Ooh, a greater roadrunner. Oh, there's a greater roadrunner too. Right over by that blue elderberry thicket. Dang. Maybe I could take this little game trail over by the cactus. Like I said, I'm not going to go really bushwhacking off trail, but this little use trail I think goes right up to the cactus. So yeah, this is a good birding place, I'll tell you that. Ravens. Look at how huge this prickly pear is. This thing is massive. This thing is enormous. This is it right here. Puntia ficus indica. This thing is humongous. I've seen them get taller than this, but look how huge the pads are. They actually got trunks in there too. This is absolutely insane. Wow. It's got massive trunks in there. Look at that. That's a trunk. It's a trunk of one of these. Oh, this is gorgeous. Again, it's not a native plant. It's not a native prickly pear. But you gotta admit, this thing is cool to look at. This thing's got massive trunks and branches on it. Wow. Okay. I can dig it. I'm just gonna go wiggle my way back to the trail and continue down the ridge line. Alright, now that I'm done gawking at the prickly pear, time to go back to the main trail and start working my way back down the hill. That was pretty cool. Now I did that video. Keep an eye out for a Shrubs of San Diego County episode. First of that type of video I've done in a long time, since the end of May. I think I did a Trees of San Diego County on the sweet gum tree. So keep an eye out. I actually did a full Shrubs of San Diego County video on that prickly pear. So I'm heading back on the trail. That was a cool cactus. I did make a public service announcement, obviously, making sure your plants don't get out of bounds and invade the wildlands. That's not a native cactus. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool looking. Oh, look at this. Another blue elderberry. Yeah, sometimes these things will be out in the middle of dry coastal sage scrub, just like you'll find them in thick chaparral and woodlands and even conifer forest in the mountains. So it looks like I'm about ready to join the road and start making the descent. I might not have headed up this way though. I know I headed up and branched off on the trail earlier. Yeah, I see where it branched off and went. I think it went up this way, so this is slightly different. Finally took the time to record a Shrubs of San Diego County, Plants of San Diego County episode. It's been so long since I've done one. I really needed to finally get something out there, and once I got to that prickly pear cactus, I knew, you know what? This is it. So yeah, right now I'm on the road. I'm actually on the road. This is actually a dirt road. Nice big slab of granite right here. Makes for less slippery walking. So I can see where the trail forks off right there. So, like I said, when I came up this morning, I saw what looked like a switchback that I accidentally missed because it looked like the trail just went straight up the hill. I was kind of thinking to myself, because I saw a switchback when I got up a little ways, thinking, no, I'd rather take the full length of the trail because, A, I don't like cutting switchbacks unless I'm running away from something. But this is a short enough hike. I don't need to make it shorter than it already is. I don't need to make my hike shorter. I think at the end of this hike, it'll be probably about 3 miles round trip. But yeah, what I did is earlier, I branched over here somewhere, and then I went up that way. That's the way I went up. So I branched off and went up that way earlier. So I got a little slight loop action out of it. But now I'm back on the trail. See, that's the road. That's where I came down. That's where I went up. Yeah, this is a really cool preserve. And here's where the trail split happens right here. This is this major trail split. So this is where I broke off. The fragrance of the California sagebrush is just heavenly right now. What a cool little preserve. So for what little distance and time you spend, there's another split here too. Jeez. So what little distance you cover hiking this, I probably made it a little bit more because I went down to another trailhead. So I think I made a little bit more of a distance out of it. So I did that one downhill spur to residential area. So I'm kind of glad I added that in, because this is a small area, and when I can, I like to maximize my experience by visiting other portions. But we're back on track, and this time I'm going to make sure I see the switchbacks and follow the switchbacks down, so I can at least have a little bit more time on the trail. But great hike. This is a great hike. Great little hike. Nothing extremely strenuous. A couple steep spots, but just take your time on the steep spots. Overall, this is a pretty easy hike. Just have a little uphill both ways, but no big deal. All right, I'm gonna be heading back towards the switchbacks. We'll see you there. Before I hit the switchbacks going down, this looks like a little BMX type bike playground, I guess, for your BMX or mountain bikes. Got some little ramps and some little hills and dales and dips and climbs. Looks like this is where probably the youngsters come and flex their mountain bike skills. Probably jumping around. Looks like a little wiggly course right here. Here's that plant again. I'm wondering if this is Stephanomeria diegensis. But yes, there's Los Coches Road. So I'm going to be starting my descent. Again, I have to say I am so happy that the trail to the Whitaker house was open. Very happy about that. I am so happy about that and so stoked. Let's see if I can find the switchbacks. Let's see. I think I might be a little off track over here. I think so. Yeah, I'm a little off track. I have to look for where the trail goes. That's alright. Just a little extra spice and adventure for the day. No biggie. Just have to look around for where the trail comes up. I think it's over here. But yeah, this little bowl right here is like a spot where you can flex your BMX skills, I guess. Pretty cool. And here we are getting ready to head down the trail. Let's hope that I don't accidentally cut the switchback, because I'm not quite done with my day, and I kind of like to enjoy a leisurely, slightly longer descent. Here's a little side trail. So this is where I came. Let's just check this out for a minute. Can't hurt to extend a little bit. So my main trail's going that way, but I'm gonna come down this a short distance and see what I could find down this way. Let's see where this leads. Actually, this will probably lead to a residential area. If it does, that's fine. When I get down there, I'll just turn back and come back up the hill. It's not a huge elevation change here. This little canyon here. That's pretty cool. You can see some of the sycamore trees down there. California sycamores. Some leftover fall color on them. It's a very warm December, so looks like we had a little late fall color. Let's see where this leads, just for the heck of it. Nice little area here. Guessing this probably leads to another trailhead. Yeah, sure. Doesn't hurt to explore as much as you can. It may as well make a nicer extension out of this one. Very beautiful here. So yeah, this probably leads to a roadside trailhead. Alright, well, let's see what else I find when I'm down that way. Kind of leads to an interesting little wash. There's a huge broom baccaris here. This is a big one. So cool. Yeah, there's a little arroyo over here. Little wash or something over here. See if I can get a good vertical view of it. It's kind of small. A little dig in the canyon here. Pretty cool. Oh, a spiny redberry. It's a shrub over here. Right there, Rhamnus crocea. First one I've seen today. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. This is a pretty cool little spot. Very cool. Let's see. There's the main trail going around that way, so that's where I have to return. Oh, this is a really old and very large San Diego bush sunflower. Baiopsis laciniata. This thing is old. This thing's huge. Very woody at the base. Wow. This is a huge one. These things are usually very softly woody. That one's got some large trunks on it. Cool. There's even a little baby coast live oak right there. Pretty cool. Little baby coast live oak. Nice. Oh, I think we got, I think it's a scabbard sweetbush right here, I believe. I don't know, there's something different about this one. This is an Asteraceae. I was thinking this was Bebia juncea variety aspera, but this might be something else. I have to look this one up. In fact, I'm going to have to take a picture of it. Okay, so now I'm going to just wander over here for a minute or two and just kind of poke around and see what else. It looks like the trail goes down this way. Really cool. Pretty cool spot. Ooh, nice rocky area. It just leads out over by the street. Wow. It's amazing how wild and rugged coastal sage grub can get. This is not chaparral, believe me. I think that goes back. I think that little path right there leads up to the trail. So I'm going to take that and mosey back up to the trail. That's a cool place. Very cool little spot. Let's watch where we step through some glass here. I guess probably the younger crowd comes here and parties. If you do, take your beer bottles away, please. There's Dudley on that wall too. Dudley Verolenta. Head up this little trail here. Should link me back with the actual trail, I believe. Hope. That'd be nice. Alright. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Huh. Well, I guess it didn't. Oh well. Just gonna go look around for the trail and then keep working my way back. California gnatcatchers. They're California gnatcatchers. Polyoptila californica, californica. Kind of has that weak, whiny, almost a mew-like sound. I don't even know if you can see them on camera that well, but yeah, those are endangered. Endangered species in an endangered habitat. That sound is the call of the California gnatcatcher. Definitely a lot of cool birds to see in here. All right, so now I'm back on the track to go down the hill. So yeah, that blue elderberry bush, there was some California gnatcatcher action. Very satisfying day out here. Again, Coschoya, Cylindropuntia prolifera. Very satisfying short day outing here. California gnatcatchers. I don't hear those very often, but I recognize that call. More Coschoya. Pretty cool. Very cool. Awesome. Downright amazing. All right, now time to start taking the switchbacks back down. My hike's coming to an end pretty soon. Wow. I mean, I knew this would be a really cool place to visit, to get to hit two small summits that are actually listed on Peak Bagger. But also got treated to some pretty cool avifauna, some cool bird wildlife. So really can't go wrong. What a cool little place. Man, I'm telling you. Another place I highly recommend, even if it's just a short saunter in the sage scrub. Or if you are a dedicated summit fiend. Well, I guess I'm kind of a summit fiend. Not as extreme as some other people who will willingly trespass and try to do it stealthily, not to get found. I try not to trespass. But, so you can actually hit a couple peakbagger.com summits. Get to smell the sagebrush. See some pretty cool coastal sage scrub plant life. And some coastal sage scrub birds. All right, so here's where the switchback is. This isn't an extremely long trail going down, but I think I mistakenly came up the straightway there. I think there's supposed to be a switchback. So I'm gonna try to just ease my way down. This is where it's a little steep here. A couple spots where it's steep. You just gotta watch out where you're going. But yeah, see, here's the straight way down. But I'm gonna stick to the switchbacks. First time I didn't realize I missed the switchback. And now, gladly and happily, I'm taking the switchbacks. Yeah, those bushy trees down there, those are all blue elderberries. There's another little trail down here too. I think I'm supposed to go this way though, because I think it leads down to that, and that's cordoned off. So I'm gonna play good boy and stick to the actual trail. Starting to get a little thirsty. I did pack water with me like I always do, but yeah. Let's see. Okay. Must be another switchback here. Sometimes you gotta kind of look around a little bit. This part gets kind of steep in spots, so just watch your step, especially on the way down. Beautiful trail, though, I'll tell you. Very beautiful trail here. You can see where my car's parked on the side of the road. There's some large elderberries down here. Yeah, here's another switchback cut. Oh, is this the way I would have come down anyways? But I see another switchback coming up. Going back this way. Yeah, there's some nice sized elderberries. I'll have to get some footage of those when I'm back. Very beautiful trail. Glad I came here today. I'm glad I finally made it. First time, like I said, I got confused by some of the road signs. From Woodside, you turn right onto Main Avenue or Main Road, which turns into Los Coches if you keep going straight. So that was kind of where I had a mistake there. I guess I'm supposed to head this way. I don't think there's another switchback down there. Otherwise, it's going to lead to that trail, which I think is closed. I'm just going to head up this way. Head back towards the main trail. All in all, this is a pleasure getting over here. But yeah, see, this is going to wind its way around this little dip here, right over by that fence. And it'll head straight towards the trail. Some more Coast Choy on the hillside too. Notice some interesting prickly pears over by the fence. I was almost thinking maybe Puntia auricola. Let me take a look. Chaparral prickly pear. These aren't very rounded though. Puntia auricola is kind of similar to this. This might be. They're supposed to be pretty spiny. I'm not sure if this is it though. It looks like a Puntia auricola. Chaparral prickly pear. They're a little more upright. But something about the texture is a little different. But they are pretty fiercely spiny, so I'm pretty sure that's Puntia auricola. Chaparral or auricle prickly pear. Which doesn't typically grow in chaparral. It usually grows in coastal sage scrub. But yeah, so we got this little straightway. Just about back at the trail. California sycamore trees, they're still pretty green for already going into winter now. That's kind of weird. Sometimes they retain their leaves very late. And somebody's been planting coast live oaks here on the side. These are coast live oak saplings here. Really cool. Glad to see that. It's Probably why they don't want people messing around over there. I think they're gonna revegetate this area. There's a lot of some invasive plants, but some invasives and some natives. These right here are cheeseweed or cheese mallow, Malva parviflora, and that's prickly lettuce, Lactuca cereola. Those are very common non-native plants that get established in disturb sites. Here's a nice old sycamore. Look how green it is. It's almost like summer green. So it's still got all of its leaves pretty much. It's pretty weird. A beautiful tree though. It's a nice, beautiful tree. All right. So yeah, those are blue elderberries over there. But I think this is gonna do it for my video. I'm back here at the trailhead at Los Coches. This is basically gonna do it for my hike today. Basically took the trail up here. Right there is where Fit-2 benchmark is at the 760-foot contour. Then I went up there, that's Hilltop. That's where the Whitaker House is. And this is what I heard right here. Polyoptila californica, californica. California gnatcatcher when it goes sounding call. Yep. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed presenting it and hiking it and seeing it. See you on my next adventure.